Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to Oilers After Dark. This is going to be off-season episode 1. In this episode, we will be forecasting some free agents. Now, coming up on your screen will be the little graphic that BW has made. We're going to do that right now, so you just get to hear my voice for the time being. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Everybody's enjoying their sumo de jour, as they say. As you see, the sizable selections, the pipe dreaming, OAD's BW's pipe dream, and how he feels, which is pretty accurate. I like what he did. I like what he did. I'm gonna go in depth with this, and this is mine, your man Matt's. Just taking some flyer, just some names to throw out there, some filler, as they say. Well, folks, and now you get to see the man behind the voice. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's good. Everybody's good. As it shows here, the signable players. I got your forwards. I got your defense. No goalies, because we don't need any of those. I think we're set with Senor Skinor and Jack Hello. Of course, this video is who's on the free agents list. We're not going to go after the restricted free agents because that'll cost draft picks and just be a mumble jumble mess. So as you see here, we'll go through my list first, and then we'll go through BW's list. BW's list is way more forward heavy, for lack of better terms, forward heavy. For my list, free agent possibilities is Austin Watson. Right wing, left wing, age 31, and I think he's going to make between 1.5 and $2 million. And I didn't put in how many years just because it can get convoluted. Because honestly, I believe there is a lockout coming in 2024. Yes, I know, I said the dreaded lockout. Just pay attention to the signs, folks. The signs, they're there. Like I said, Austin Watson, 31 years old, good little flyer. He's kind of the grit, the glue, the third line guy that will help you in playoffs. And in regular season, he's a mucker. And he can put in some points. So I have him as my first kind of foyer type of person. Zygmanis Zergensons. A left wing center, 29. Little younger than Austin Watson, so I'm going to pay him a bit more. And he's a dual player. He can be put on the wing and take draws. Another third line, second line if you need him, but depth. Most of these guys will be depth players. I'll get into the more non-depth players as we go along, because my next video will have the Oilers pending free agents, UFA, RFA. Who are they going to sign? Who are they not going to re-sign? Who are they going to let walk? Who might they trade? But that's foreshadowing for the future. My third guy, and now this is somebody the Oilers kicked tires on this season and last season, just numbers and what teams wanted for this player just didn't work out. Derek Brassard, a center left wing, yet again, a dual position player. You're going to see a lot of those on my list, dual position players. Again, he's older, he's 35. That's why I say we pay him the league min. $750 for 1 year. Just $750 1 year. Don't go too crazy. By the way, Haley, I like my shirt. I paused my game to be here. No, in all seriousness, I miss you guys. Life's been good. So then we got my fifth guy on my list, Pierre Engvall. Yes, I know, former Leaf. Kind of want to stay away from the Leafs, but he's a right wing, left wing, can play up and down your lineup. Me personally, he's 26 years old, and I think he'd be suitable on your third line wing. Help out Nuge. He's a big body. He likes to go in and forecheck. puck retrieval because we don't know what we're going to have in the back end because that's where all our free agents are. Our top six are still here. Like, this is one thing that we have to realize as Oilers fans. We can't throw out flashy names and expect them to play third or fourth line. We have two top lines already. Our top lines are not going anywhere. McDavid here, Kane here, Hyman here, Draisaitl here, Hopkins here, Yamamoto might not be here. But other than that, we need depth help. So I don't have flashy names on my board. Zachary Stanford is another left wing, right wing proposition who can play both sides and be effective on the forecheck and chip in with a few goals here and there. And again, $850, nothing too crazy. 1 year, excuse me. 1 year, $850. We just kind of give and take and give, and see what happens. See what happens, right? What's the worst thing going to happen? We take a flyer, it doesn't work. Then we go on to the 6-year names on my list. Gustav Nyquist. 33, so he's still kind of prime, kind of not really. But he plays left and right wing again, can be on both sides of your center. He can play top 6 minutes. He's been known to be able to play top 6 minutes and score, produce, which the Oilers were lacking in the second round of these playoffs. I can't believe we're in the third round. But I digress. We were lacking depth scoring in the playoffs, and I believe Nyquist could be the answer to some of these problems. 2.75, though. That's not going to be a good... That's going to take up a good chunk of your 5.9, I think the Oilers have. I think the Oilers either have 5.9 or $5.75 million cap space. They do have to re-sign players within that cap, so I'm not going super crazy in the free agency until I find out who they're going to keep and who they're going to let go, which again will be in the next video where we do discuss all things good, bad, and indifferent. So moving on to the next player on the list, a 28-year-old Max Domi. Now Max, he is 28. He can play center. He can play wing. Left wing primarily, but I have seen him play right wing as well. He's going to fetch a pretty penny in free agency. I think you can get him for 3, maybe 3.5. But once he hits that $4 million, adios amigos, say. Then we have Eric Haula, 32, kind of getting up there in age. He can play center, left wing, again, depth. But because he did produce this year and he is a producer, I put him at 2.75, sorry. What's the worst, right? Like, just throw a feeler at him, throw some money at him, see if he budges. I think now because Ekholm is here, a lot more players are willing to come to Edmonton. We've got a team, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a team now. Lars Eller, there's another guy that he's 34. Now, that's the thing with Lars Eller, is he's 34, but 34 can play center. Only center can play wing sometimes, but he would be your primary third-line center, which would mean Hopkins can move up to the wing with Draisaitl and Hyman, which gives Kane, McDavid, and name somebody, right? Like, Lars Eller would be your third-line center. And for that, you got to pay 2.4. 2.4 to 3.5, that $1 million gap right there. That to me, 2.4, 3.5. Hey, if you make 3.5 and you're a third liner, who are you to cough and sneeze? Now we get to the pretty name on my list. For the forwards wise, Evan Rodriguez. Now, center, left wing, 29. So he's kind of hitting out of his prime. But a $2 million price tag. Throw a $2 million bid. 2 to 3. Put a $2 to $3 million, 1, maybe 2 years. Like I said, I didn't put years on because I don't know if the cap is going to go skyrocketing after next year or if it's going to go. So, we move on to the defense for my guys. And boy, oh boy, it is fun to see Scott Mayfield. Now, this guy is interesting. This guy is your shutdown guy. He could be your first pair shutdown guy, or you move Ekholm up to your first pair and play with Nurse, and you have him stenciled in with Bouchard. Either way, we need a defensive defenseman. We need a guy that will understand Nurse is going to jump up. We need a guy that understands that Nurse is not going to play defense 95% of the time properly. So that's where he comes in. As Ekholm was a help to Bouch, I think Mayfield and all the guys on my list, I'll be completely honest, all the guys on my list are defensive guys. Except for one, my bad. John Klingberg is not defensive. No, he's more of an offensive guy. That's why he's on my list. But I digress. So Scott Mayfield, 30 years old, 1.4 or 5. 1.4 to 2 million. Any more than that, you got to wash your hands. Let him go. Let him see where he gets, right? Now, come my second guy on the list, John Klingberg. He's more defensive now than he was 2 years ago, but still an offensive guy. He's 30 years old, and he's going to get a pretty price tag. He's gonna want some money. He's going to want his payday, and I don't blame the guy. Played in Anaheim for so long, and now he's doing some good shite in Dallas. Ryan Graves. Now, this guy's pretty interesting for me, Ryan Graves. He's a left defenseman. My other two guys were right defensemen. Ryan Graves is one of those players. He's just, you don't talk about him much. You don't notice him much when he's out there. He does the little things right. The first pass, the up the board, the cross-check in front of the net. He does those things and does them well. He's 27. That's why I said he'll get 3.1 to 3.5. Or even 4. But that takes up a big chunk of your free agent money, and that's probably not a player that you want to go after. Because you don't really want all that money in one person. We want to spread out. My personal belief in this free agent frenzy that we're going to have in July, and we're almost in June, folks, I think the Oilers should spread out their money and add 2-3 guys instead of one big name. Unless that one big name is a defensive defenseman that can play first pair with Darnell Nurse, or just an offensive sniper that can play first line all day, every day, twice on Sundays. And Pachu 50. If you can get a first line goal scorer in Pachu 50 that wants to make less than 5, go after him hard. You're just not going to get that guy. Those type of guys want $7, $8, $9, $10 million. So I digress. Those are big bite teams, though. And then we got Damian Severson, 28 years old, 4.16. Why did I say that he's going to get about 4.16 to probably 5? He's young. He's in his prime defensively. And this guy can score on the back end as well as play defense. Now, the last guy on my list is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. A lot of feathers. Radko Gudas. Why do I like Radko Gudas? I love me some Gudas. I've liked him for a while. I love what he's doing on the Florida defense. If you haven't been paying attention to the Florida defense in this playoffs, you are not paying attention to Gudas. What he does. He plays on the edge. He doesn't let you get free space in front of the net. Fuck, he doesn't let you get free space in the corner. That's what the Oilers have been lacking on lines 1 and 3 defensively. And no knock on Desharnais. That is not a knock on Desharnais or Broberg. They're just not NHL ready. Boy, they will be, and when they are, cream to the crop, creme to the creme will they be. But we need NHL now. And Gudas will be that NHL, punch you in the mouth while you're laying down, give you a little shot in the kidneys, body shot. Hey, and he's a defenseman. He's a defensive defenseman. You won't see him pinching up too much. And I think that's a guy that would work well with Nurse. Or again, move Ekholm up to that first line with Nurse and Ekholm. Good as Bouchard. And then you've got Kulak with Broberg or Desharnais or any one of the pipe guys coming up. Endless possibilities, my friends. Endless possibilities. So that's it for my list. That's it. That's all she wrote for my list. Now, like I said, BW put a more extensive list on his, and power to him. He did some mathematics. His first guy that we would like to see on the Oilers is David Kempf. Center left wing, yet again, dual positions. We like the dual positions on this broadcast, on this channel. 1.8. So he wants him for 4.1. My math is way off. But yeah, he wants him for a pretty penny at 2 years. So 1.8 and 1.8 for 2 years. Now, his other guy that he has is Garnet Hathaway. Interesting pick on Garnet Hathaway there. A right wing. He wants him for $4 million over 4 years. Oh, sorry, my bad. $8 million over 4 years. So $2 million a year for 4 years. $8 million, not bad. Kind of steep if you're asking me, but hey, this is BW's list, and I respect the hustle, man. That's if the Oilers can get this guy for $2 million a year for 4 years, I think they win. Jordan Staal, a center left wing. Now we've seen what Jordan Stahl's doing. And that's leadership. That's cup leadership. That's mentorship to Hyman, to McDavid, to Draisaitl, to Kane, so on and so forth. That is mentorship, and that's something that this team lacked. Say what you will about Mike Smith and the back end Oilers last year with what's his nuts? Dude, if I can remember names, that'd be perfect. Duncan Keith. Say what you want with those older guys that we had on the back end, Mike Smith and Duncan Keith. But those guys brought a little bit of leadership and a little bit of swag down to the Oilers that they were kind of lacking this year until Ekholm got here. But Ekholm can only do so much, and playoffs are a whole different animal. I think if we get 2 or 3 more good vets that have leadership in this core, we got years of success. Connor Brown's another guy for BW. He's a right wing specialty. 3.3 mil, 3.3 mil, 3.3 mil, 3.3 mil, 3, 6, 9, 12. So for 13, 2. But that's over 4 years. That's still a bit pricey. But hey, you get what you pay for, though. Connor Brown is a Connor Brown. That guy, he will be. I don't see him as a top guy. Could scribble into the top 6. I mean, hey, we've played Yamamoto in the top 6. Am I right? Again, his 5th guy on the list, Sean Monahan. Now, again, Mr. Monahan, he's just a center, but can play wing to wing in a pinch. But he wants him 1 year at a $2 million price range. Not too shabby. And we all know Sean Monahan can score when healthy mentally. I think playing in Calgary shot his mental well-being. Playing in Montreal this year, he was good. He was good for the Canadiens. It's just the Canadiens weren't very good. So maybe putting a flyer on Sean Monahan isn't that bad of an idea. Something to think about. We know a team will. Let's find out if it's the Oilers. Moving down the list, he's got James Van Riemsdyk. Well, Rams Riemsdyk is a good player. He plays in Philadelphia. He has played in Toronto. He's a left wing primarily. His BW thinks he's going to get paid 1.8. Not bad. Fair price range. I love that price range. And I'm not mad about any of this. I like what I'm seeing. If the Oilers can pull off this switcheroo, tracky, if the Oilers could sign some ink and make some contracts work, man, I'd love to see a lot of these players on the Oilers. But hey, there's only a certain amount of cap space and only a certain amount of cap rosters. His 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th guy, Max Pacioretty, left wing, $1.5 million. I get the sentiment. I understand why. My issue is injury problems. Are we going to get a healthy Patches, or are we going to get a banged up, hurt Patches? Again, not a bad choice, not a bad price range. I like it, but what are you going to get in it? His next guy is Nick Foligno, right wing, left wing, can play both sides of the center line. 1.2 million again with Nick Foligno. Are you going to get the pre-All-Star game Nick Foligno where he was on fire for the Maple Leafs? Or are you going to get the Nick Foligno that was with Boston this year and post-All-Star break with some Maple Leafs? Not good, but who knows? Put him in the right place. Fourth line grinder. Might work out. And this is a guy I don't ever, ever, ever want to see on the Edmonton Oilers. Corey Perry. Right wing, $850,000. Again, I don't think Corey Perry will ever come to Edmonton. He has said publicly and privately he hates the Oilers and would never come to play for the Oilers. Never say never, though, right? Just not a guy I would like to see in Oilers colors. Leopards don't change their spots, as they say. And this is where I like what BW did here. I had Lars Eller at 2.415. He has a 1.75 for 1 year, so 1.7 times 2. Lars Eller, I like it. I like the price range, 1.75 per. 2 years is a good contract for him. Again, I don't think he'll sign that low unless it's getting like nitty gritty and he needs a team. But I just think the player is way too good to get that little. Could work, depending on who he wants to play with. It all depends if they want to win. If these players want to win, they will sign for whatever gets tossed at them. But we know NHL players don't think that way. They think with their wallets and not with their heads. They don't care about winning. They care about how much money they can make. Moving down the list for him again, Ivan Barbashev. 1.75, 1.75, 1.75 to 3 years, 1.75 times 3. Not bad, not a bad price range, not a bad player. Again, a centerman would be your third line, fourth line centerman if we cannot re-sign a couple of guys that we need to re-sign. That's some freed up money that we can use. I like it. I don't hate that idea at all. And now we got Noel Acciari. Noel Acciari, I like it. 1.45, a little too steep for me because that makes it $3 million at the end of the day. Let's round up to 3. I know he's got 1.5, 1.45 times 1.45, which is 2.9. But let's round it up to 2 million. I don't hate it. I understand it. I just don't think that he would fit with the Oilers at that price range. I think if you can get him for like 1.1 to be a fourth line guy, that's doable. But again, we're looking for fourth liners. We're looking for fourth and third liners. He wants to play up in the lineup as he did in Toronto. He started out as a third line mucker, ended up being a pretty good secondary goal scorer. I don't hate it. I like it. Just see where the price range is. Miles Wood is his last forward on this list. Again, Miles Wood for 1.85. 1.85. Let's round up 4 million. He wants 4 million for 2 years. 2 million a year. Sure. I like Miles Wood. I think the kid has a very bright future. He played very well in New Jersey, depending on what New Jersey offers him. I honestly think he'll stay in New Jersey, but if he doesn't, he could be gone day one, night one of Free Agent Frenzy. July 1st, by the way. Canada Day. Where will you be? I might be here. And then you've got defensemen. He's only got 3 defensemen on the list. Because again, I think the Oilers are pretty good at defensively. They just need one more. I honestly think they need one more guy. Move out the Cody Ceci contract if you can. If not, then you have still Cody Ceci. And get another guy. Scott Mayfield, again, I put him already. I already explained why Scott Mayfield works. Radko Gudas, again, but BW. He wants these guys at 3.75, 3.75, 3.75. Let's round up and make it 9 million. Sorry, my bad. Round up, make it 11. 11 million over 3 years. That's a little too steep to me, but we gotta do what we gotta do, folks. And for Gudas, Gudas wins a cup. Who knows what would happen? Maybe he takes less. Maybe he takes more because he's won his cup. He's like, hey, I've got mine. Let's go get that dough. Let's go get that money. Let's go get that mun, as some people say. So he's going 3.3, 3.3, 3.3 for 3 years. 9.9. So we'll round up to an even number, 10 million. Not bad, 10 million over 3 years. Again, do the Oilers want to spend that kind of dough on a defenseman? Knowing that Bouchard is also going to get paid. And his third and final guy on the list is Luke Schenn. Again, I don't know what you're going to get out of Luke Schenn. 1.6 for 1 year. Is he the Luke Schenn that played in St. Louis and won a cup and then played in Tampa and won a cup? Or no, he wasn't there for St. Louis. My bad. He was there for the Tampa. My bad on the St. Louis. Don't crucify me, please. We're not all perfect. But he did play well for Toronto this year. Unfortunately, Toronto had a lot of turmoil that happened and have a lot of turmoil now that's happening. And if you guys want, we can get into a video of that. This is an Oilers channel. I'm not going to rag on a dog when he's already been kicked and burned. But that's it. That is all I have for you guys. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think what are you guys' thoughts? Am I out to lunch? Am I crazy? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is doable for the Oilers? These names on this list, are they obtainable? Let me know. Who would you put on the list? Would you put anybody different? Would you add a player? Would you take out a player? I always appreciate the comments. I always appreciate the feedback. And again, thank you for all of us at Oilers After Dark. My name is Matt, and we will see you in the next one. No telling when the next one will be, but we'll see you in it. Peace.